Today, many people have thronged the Accra International Conference Center to pay their last respects to former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, who died last month. Already, there's controversy brewing about whether or not the body has been displayed for public viewing because it was covered and not open during the filing past. Maxwell Agbagba has been there, but before that, Professor Jampo, who is a respected academician, has been raising concerns about the decision by government not to open up the casket. More on that shortly. But first, let's bring you a report as the body is laid for public viewing.
It is day one of the final journey for the former Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan. Day one, and hundreds of Ghanaians have thronged the Accra International Conference Center to pay their last respect to the former Secretary General. Amongst the many people we've been speaking to here is the Executive Director of the Center for Democratic Development and also a lawyer, Henry Kwesi Prempeh. He has been talking about the fine diplomat that the former UN Secretary General was. He says his life is worth emulating by all.
Well, I think its contributions go beyond the United Nations. But I think while he was there, he was always a very thoughtful and calm voice during very turbulent times. You know, it was during his time at the UN that, you know, the now very infamous Iraq War happened. And we know how, what role he played trying to calm tensions during that time. Of course, he didn't have the power to prevent the war, but I think he was a very thoughtful, reasoned voice during that period. And that, I think, has been his hallmark, that he's come to be respected for being a very thoughtful, calming influence in a world that is more and more very turbulent. Even those who hold him to task for the failure of the UN to prevent the genocide in Rwanda, still agree that part of his legacy is this new idea in international law about the duty to protect. That from that experience, something good came out of it. From that experience, failure of the international community to respond timely, in a timely fashion to the events in Rwanda, he evolved this whole idea of a duty to protect.
Managing Director of Multi-TV, Santok Singh, has also been eulogizing the late UN Secretary General. He says the multimedia group would dedicate time to broadcast the final journey of the former Secretary General.
He's a son of this country, and to lose such a important person, and especially for the contribution that they have given to the world, not only to the country but also to the world. I mean, it's a big loss. So we really, big condolences to the family. You know, I know the time is tough, but we'll persevere and then we'll move on. Yeah. He's a global icon. So that's why we as a multimedia group, we call it, we are celebrating the global icon. So we are dedicated a lot of airtime coverage for this event. I think he deserves much more than that. So the little that we can do as a multimedia group will continue, and then we'll highlight all the contribution that they have done and share with the people to really appreciate what he has done, not only to Ghana but also to the world.
As I speak with you, we have put in place, we've drawn a number of units to this very function. We have the SWAT from the national headquarters, SWAT from the regional headquarters. We also have the foreign police units, whom you find their water cannon here. We also have the visibility police here, and also the CID also with us here. As also we have the motor traffic department also managing traffic. And so it's a comprehensive sort of security that we have put in place to ensure that the place remains very calm and safe.
Well, I was speaking to one of the officers from the MTTD, and he was telling me that today they don't really anticipate, much traffic, but the traffic really will be on the day of the burial service, which is on Thursday, and then tomorrow when you expect some heads of delegations, heads of recognized groups, ministers of states, all of them coming here to come and file past the body.
Yeah, exactly so, exactly so. As you are aware, today is for the general public, and even though we expect that they will come, but we know it will not be in that numbers. If they come in the numbers too, we've put in place the necessary arrangements to actually contain whatever numbers that will be here. And as we speak tomorrow, we have also put in place arrangements to also ensure that all those coming will be safe and there will be nothing untoward.
Okay. Yeah. Should we expect any roadblocks tomorrow and then Thursday?
At the moment, we only have blocked the road from the AU runabout, that's the Ridge runabout, to the stadium traffic light here. And as the days unfold, we'll also know the areas to block so that we don't inconvenience motorists.
I've also been speaking to an Ashanti historian and researcher, Safo Kantanka. He has been talking about the title bestowed on the late Kofi Annan by the Otumfuo himself. The title, Busumuru. He has been explaining that it is one of the highest recognitions that can be bestowed on a person.
Busumuru is one of the swords, the state swords of the king of Ashanti, Asante Hene. And that is the highest of all the swords, which is attached to the golden stool. So he looks round to see who has performed in this world and bestow on him the title Busumuru. That is his title. Otumfuo himself uses the title Busumuru. Nobody else uses it. So it's only when he decides to give a portion of his title to somebody that he bestows on that person Busumuru. Busumuru Hene, or the chief responsible for the Busumuru sword.
Okay.
So peaceful a person that his umbrella is even white.
Okay.
The Busumuru Hene's umbrella is white.
Okay, because it's peaceful.
It's peaceful.
Interesting. I've also been interacting with legal practitioner Akoto Ampao. He says Kofi Annan possessed a mystical calm that endeared him to the hearts of many.
Kofi Annan had a calming presence and impact on any situation that he was confronted with on the international plane. And through that almost mystical calm in the heat of momentous situations, he managed and succeeded in achieving great results. I consider him a great inspiration to African men and women, both from the continent and in the diaspora, that we can and we will, in the end, be victorious.
Some persons speaking to Maxwell Agbagba after they filed past the body. Well, here's Professor Ransford Jampo, who is raising concerns about the fact that the casket has not been opened for Ghanaians to see the body of their global icon before he finally goes home.
Up to him, and as young people, we are all aspiring to be able to shine not only within our country, but to also shine out there within the globe, so that the world will know what Ghana has for it. We hope to be able to do so with all humility and with all service to humanity, because these are some of the things that I believe he stood up for. One thing that I'm not too happy about is that our culture, in our culture, when you're talking about filing past a dead person, what happens is that you want people to have the opportunity to view the body. But this is covered. I mean, this is so foreign. I know it isn't everybody who is comfortable viewing a dead body, so those who cannot view, it's fine. But there are so many people who have heard about him, they know him from far away. This is the only time they want to see the person, and so they should open the casket and let people view the body. I think that is what we know as our culture. Covering it is not part of our culture.
Well, there's been some response from government. Pius Hajide is Deputy Information Minister.
First place, we have to put it on record that there are several high caliber funerals, such as the one of Mr. Kofi Annan, who have followed the same process. The funeral planning committee decided that we shall seize this moment to show that this is a Ghanaian affair. We have seen this funeral go beyond the family. This is a state funeral that we are having for Mr. Kofi Annan, and the planning committee has taken the decision that we should drape the casket of His Excellency Mr. Kofi Annan in the national colors, our national flag, to symbolize to the world that we claim this funeral, we own it, and that we are proud of our distinguished and renowned international diplomat, Mr. Kofi Annan. And personally, that decision has my endorsement. I think that we should encourage it when such important persons pass out. The state Ghana should lead the effort, and the world must be told this is a fine way to put Ghana again on the map. This is no longer, to a certain extent, about Mr. Kofi Annan. Now it is about Ghana. Okay. And what we see out there is a Ghanaian spirit, and that is what we want to communicate.
But some people we spoke to are quite disappointed because they came from very far places with the hope of paying their final respect, meaning they're viewing the body and paying their last respect. They are raising questions. They say traditionally that is not how it is now.
No, I am not aware of any traditional injunctions against this. And I just said to a few of my colleagues that I have attended a lot of funerals, traditional funerals, that we have had to do this. And I'm saying that decisions are taken by managers from time to time. We chose the decision that we should cover the casket with the national flag. And the national flag, yesterday, there was a symbolic transfer. When the casket arrived in Ghana, it was wrapped in the colors of the United Nations. And we took that color off and we put the national colors on it. We want to keep it there for people to realize the essence of our true Ghanaian identity. And that is what, and I think that we should not compromise on that.
Could we have still draped, could we have still put a Ghana flag without covering?
No, we could not have. We could not have.